I'm ready.
We can do the pledge anyway.
At this time, we are ready to begin the meeting. I was almost ready to say adjourn. At this point, please turn toward the flag for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you all for coming. At this point, I'd like to turn the meeting over to Ms. Metzger.
We have on the consent agenda some items to go over. We had our facilities team meeting today. Just some highlights of the facilities team. One is the pool pump that went out at Roosevelt, which will be replaced. So this, we can get it back in the pool. So that time line should be ready for them to get back in there probably, in the next week or two?
A week from Monday, we're hoping.
Okay, week from Monday.
Clean bacteria test.
Okay. Also, the cooling tower at the high school is needing replaced, and that comes in at $48,150. One of the things also that we have been working on for the past 4 or 5 years, maybe more, is the situation with the underground tanks at the bus garage. This is going to finally be taken care of. Contacted some attorneys, got them involved, and we have submitted all the forms that we need to. Hopefully, the ERC, which that's the environmental management, they'll clear us on that. We went kind of back and forth. I didn't agree with the first proposal they sent. They wanted to restrict the entire parcel of land. So we kind of negotiated, and we're just gonna, hopefully they'll accept the parcel of land that actually is right in front of the office where the tanks are actually buried. So that's important if we ever sell that land or try to lease it. It's important that we have to disclose that, but also we don't want the whole property that has the restrictions of the digging, excavating. So it's just gonna be that small portion. So long-term, that will help us. One of the other things, the cameras, Chief Linkenfelder has walked through the majority of the buildings. For the most part, we have most of the cameras where they need to go. We have a couple. Denny, do you have anything to add to that?
Mrs. Lincoln gave me his list of recommendations, so it's punch list stuff that we'll get today that needs to be done.
So I have strict orders not to sign off on any of that until it's all, everything on that list is done and we're ready to go. I think for the most part, principals, you're fairly happy that we have cameras and the spots that we need. So much improvement over the past. Glad to get that done.
Well, we've got cameras where we never had cameras before.
Yes, we have lots of cameras where we needed them and we haven't had before. So thank you for that, for everyone involved in that, and taking the time to mark the cameras where they need to go. One other thing that we have looked at, Denny went through with, annually we have a company come through to do some reevaluations, art room, some add-ons. They basically just do this for our fixed asset schedule. So that was completed. Thank you, Denny, for that. One of the things, moving to the budget area, which I probably should have done first, we need to have permission from the board to advertise the 2021 budget, and that's going to be in September. And then in September, also, what we'll have is a public hearing, and this is all same routine that we did last year. They will actually present that budget, and then that same night, you will also be voting on that. Thanks to Kim and John Sayer, they have done such a great job in getting us back on track, finding the information we need. They've been working hard, a little stressful at times, but I see a sigh of relief coming over them at times as well. So I thank them for that hard work as well. One of the things that,
Turn your cell phone in now, you'll get it back at the end of the meeting.
crack screen. Along the same area there, we, every year, we do have to have a credit from the First Merchant Bank, and this, again, is those notorious underground tanks at the bus garage. We have to have, carry a policy every year to cover the liability on those. It is $350 a year in order to have that. It just is reoccurring, we just have to sign and provide documentation to the Indiana Department of Environmental Management. That is a requirement, we don't have a choice on that. So that's reoccurring. I think that's all I have with consent agendas. Just fair warning, personnel changes daily, so if you are looking at that with the board uploads, be patient with us. We have been scrambling the last couple days to upload and do some things differently, but I praise the central office people. They've kept their cool. We've tried to do our best and work at a fast pace in order to get those teachers cleared since we're starting school Monday. So thank you to the administrators. They've done a fabulous job getting that documentation to us, because it's a lot of things that the teachers have to go through in order to be qualified to be board approved. So you may see some last minute personnel coming through, so I would just suggest logging back in before that Tuesday meeting, because there may be some additional staff that you may want to look at the proposal that the administrators are bringing forward.
Thank you. Is there anything else on the agenda?
I did, it's not on the agenda, but the current student count, I did submit a assistant superintendent report a little late today. I wanted to get it in your hands before the meeting. Those are our current counts on that last page, and that was uploaded. I sent an email and I did upload it on Canvas too, to the school board folder. We are currently down 61 students, so hopefully all you people out there, we need your kids. No, I'm just, we really, I think that count will come up. I'm confident in that. Just some kids that haven't registered. We have almost 1,200 kids on the school bus. So parents, please, I thank you for your patience. Bus drivers are calling. We're rerouting. The city streets have not been our friends. So we have rerouted buses.
Thanks, Maury.
Yeah. Thanks to Chief Linkenfelder. He came and worked with us, got some bus routes. It's going to be congested around the high school. We're coming on Jefferson Street, so if you live on Jefferson Street, you're going to see some buses coming down probably till November, I'm told. So we did have to reroute buses. So thank you for your patience with that. If you have not been contacted, you will be contacted by the bus drivers. They have their list and we're ready to go with that. If you have not registered for the bus, you can go online at our website and do that. So I suggest that we do that quickly if you want bus transportation for Monday, because it's hard to get those buses routed and pick up additional students, because we want to make sure we're social distancing. So that is all I have for the consent items. If anyone has any questions, I will answer those.
I noticed that there's nothing in our folder yet on our dashboard for the transfer tuitions yet. We have any new ones from last?
Yes,
Okay.
we do. We have a stack. So we'll get those on, I would expect those tomorrow, Monday at the latest. Usually those are done, but they keep coming in.
Do those include the 61 that were short?
No. So,
Good.
like the 61, I think will be okay. I'm always optimistic that number's gonna change just because of some enrollment and the transfers have not come through. We have, I would say 20 right now. probably more than that coming through still. We get them daily, so,
Okay, good.
that list will be updated. I'll make sure that's updated tomorrow and on the dashboard for you.
Is there any other discussion on item A? If not, moving on to item B, discussion of mandatory masks through the first 9 weeks.
We've had discussion, administrators ask the question, what do we do when Governor Holcomb says, masks are no longer required? Our teachers, I think, and everyone else kind of did a sigh of relief when, they said that the masks were mandatory, because that took a lot of, pressure off of us trying to make it mandatory in our buildings. What we have talked about, and Mr. Hanna and I have talked about, and several other people, is making it mandatory through the first 9 weeks to get us through that first 9 weeks, and then see where we are at that point. Just because the first 9 weeks gives us, the kids are already established in that routine, so we have till August 27th. I don't know if he'll still continue that mandate or not, but we would like some consistency so we can tell our teachers, hey, until the 9 weeks, this is what's going to happen, and then we'll reevaluate it, and then decide what we're going to do further on with the mask.
I don't think there's any discussion about it, just something we have to do.
Yeah, I think it's something, we have to put the kids and the teachers and the administrators' safety first, and as long as the CDC says, this thing that you put on your face is that and washing your hands are some of the best things that you can do, then regardless of what we hear from higher-ups in the government, I think that's a good plan, and we can reevaluate at the end of the 9 weeks and see where COVID is and where we are and what those recommendations are. But when we come down to that, I certainly support that.
Most definitely.
I think as a board member, I also support it and back all of you. I think we could say that we back the administrators, you, Ms. Metzger, because it's safety first. It's safety first.
Well, I think we've got a lot of teachers too that are a little leery coming back. It's, through the rumor mill, I've heard Missy, you're having quite some problems with some teachers not a little leery of coming back because of COVID.
Absolutely.
So, it's what I'm hearing.
Administrators, you have anything to say?
Come on, Dr. Nick, you've never been lost in the woods.
They're like they're all masked, and I'm like, I can't read your expressions, so I don't know.
I think it's a good idea. I think it's also important for just everybody to understand too, that the kids are gonna be able to take their masks off occasionally throughout the day. So I think that's important. I know I've had a lot of parents ask me that. There are multiple classes in the middle school that we can socially distance kids, which means they can take their mask off the whole time they're in there. So I know that Mrs. Davenport has said this, so I kind of stole this from her, like, if you're moving, put a mask on. So when they get up, when they're walking around, when they're in the hallways, masks are on. And if they can't socially distance, so I will say in many of our science rooms, we can't socially distance kids because of the way that the tables are, so they'll have to wear it then. But the CDC and the DOE have given us a video about mask breaks, so they can do that. Teachers watch that video today, at least in my building. So it's not like, I want parents to know that they're not gonna be walking around with a mask all day. Like there's times that we give them breaks, times when we allow them to take it off, so I think that's important to know too.
Well, I think Mrs. Davenport's also got the lanyards for your kids.
We did too.
Did you? Great. Good job. Good
Yeah,
job.
we did too.
Good job.
And
Thank
for all
you.
of our staff.
I'd like to hear from the TLCTO on this subject.
Definitely wear the masks, and again, there are gonna be times when social distancing will be, possible, but we're dropping teachers right and left because of COVID concerns. And I've been talking to teachers, and it's not just the high school teachers that are concerned, it's middle school teachers too, several of them. And, there are teachers I know that are actively looking for other jobs, and as soon as they find something, they're probably gonna be out here.
Other teaching jobs or other jobs?
I have one teacher that's, it's either or.
What are we not doing that they need us to do?
Well,
Barb and I talked about that, because when we
Yes.
got the information about tonight's meeting, we kind of listened to concerning them, what percentage of the CTO members are concerned about which items, so that we can have a concrete conversation about this. Because some of the teachers that are leaving are going to online schools where the interaction, personal interaction is more limited. But we want to get more concrete data and some anecdotal data and kind of share
Yeah,
that.
that's basically what we have, is just anecdotal at this point, because, again, we got the agenda last night, so we weren't quite sure which way the,
So am I hearing correctly, you're going to survey your members?
yeah, we can,
When that happens, do you have a timeline on that, and will that be available to the board as well?
yes.
Well, I mean, available to the board by our board meeting.
We will have, oh yeah, we can send a survey out and have something within probably a few days. And
I'd like to have some.
let them know the board is interested in hearing from them.
Yes, yes.
I mean, we need to know what you need us to do. If it's reasonable, we'll do it.
Right. Well, what helped one of the teachers was the fact that the governor mandated the masks. But then it's a concern if he says that, you know, it's okay to not wear the masks, you know.
We just said we're gonna go for at least 9 weeks.
I understand that. I'm letting you know that that was what made some of the teachers stay before you guys even decided to do the first quarter.
Okay.
Anecdotally, I'm just going to speak for myself, not representing the teachers' organization. I was concerned, and, you know, I was involved in a lot of meetings where we were trying to decide how we're going to enforce it and what's going to happen. And when the governor made the mandate, like she said, it relieved a lot of questions. I was concerned when I saw that between the time of his announcement to the public and when he actually signed the executive order, it got changed from 6 feet to 3 feet. I don't know if you're aware of that. It was done without much fanfare. The actual executive order says that high school students can take off their masks, or they're not required to wear masks if they're at least 3 feet apart from each other,
And all facing the same way.
and all facing the same direction. And that concerns me, because the evidence is that 1 meter is not enough. And it also concerns me that if he can change his mind in 2 days between the time of the announcement and signing the order, I'm not very confident that he's going to go extend it beyond August 27th. So I was happy that you guys are considering it as part of your agenda. I know the decision can't officially be made till Tuesday, but I sure hope that we can at least count on the first 9 weeks to be
I think that's a definite.
mask mandated.
And most of the concerns have come from the two schools, middle school and high school, where the students are moving around and where teachers are exposed to, you know, I know I'm going to be exposed to between 100 and 150 students a day. So, and it's going to be worse next semester. There's one day that I have 100 students just in one day, or no, 93, I'm not going to overdramatise it. The one thing that I did hear from elementary was that they're really, there's a real push to make sure that their teaching time, their instructional time is maximized, which, you know, needs to be done. But because of COVID, you know, there's going to need to be hand washing breaks. There's going to be, you know, possible mask breaks. There's going to be, you know, and so how is that going to be looked at by their administrators when they are doing this rather than, you know, bell teaching?
With kindness and compassion.
So,
I hope that, I feel confident that that's gonna happen. You know, this is the unknown, and Monday we start, and we don't know. We probably will change our plans for Tuesday. I mean, what direction they're walking, where, you know, we can have the best laid out plan, but day one, when the kids walk in, that's when the real work starts, in my opinion.
And I think it's a big kudos to our custodial staff. I mean, from what I've heard, elementary people, when they have bathroom breaks, they've got to go in between
Yeah.
bathroom breaks
Yeah.
and disinfect those bathrooms and things, and kudos to those people for all they're doing.
It is,
Buildings look amazing.
it's gonna require everyone to do a little extra than they have done. That means taking the trash out when you're walking by, you know, in the cafeteria, because our custodians have to be in classes cleaning. So, you know, it's gonna take all of us to do that. And-
What did they say? It takes a village.
Yes, and I wouldn't want any other team doing this than the team sitting right out there. They've done a fabulous job. They could have complained a million times with the no summer and the amount of work they've done and calling people for distance learning. And so thank you. I can't say enough that you guys have done a fabulous job and supported one another. I think that's the biggest thing too. I want the public to know as they watch is you've got a team that is doing what's best for kids, and I think what's best for teachers. And we can say we're not doing enough, or we're scared. We're all scared. We're all nervous. We don't know the outcome, but it's not us against them. It's everyone's working together, and let's figure out how we can keep each other safe and the kids safe. So I want us to all work together in order to do that. And I think we have done that so far. And I hope that everyone has been listened to. And if you haven't been listened to, we're here to listen to you. But, you know, I'm excited to see kids and to get back to some sort of normal.
Yeah, don't you think the kids are ready to
And the
get back?
kids, I think, are definitely ready to get back and see each other and just be social again. So, thanks, guys. I really
Thank you.
appreciate it.
So the next item on the agenda is discussion of the Sheriff's Department and Monticello Police Department student resource officers.
Deb, did you look into that, what I called you about?
Yes. Missy and I received a letter from Sheriff Brooks, was this Wednesday? Indicating that they evaluated our current plan for resource officers, and they no longer wanted, the Sheriff's Department no longer wanted to authorize any of their White County Sheriff Office deputies to utilize any issued equipment owned and maintained by the White County Sheriff Office. They cannot, if they're here, they cannot wear anything that's issued by the county to them. That includes their firearm, uniform, car. So it indicated that they don't have an issue with them working here, but they would no longer have privilege to what they would usually have, which is their attire from the Sheriff's Department.
So
We would
can
have
I
to
understand
provide
that if we want to hire them, we have to hire them on the side?
We have to also give them everything.
We would
firearms
have,
and
it would
everything.
still, we would still pay them, they would be employed, but we will, it also has changed, at the White County auditors. We just got that today. We used to send the check there and they would pay the officers. Now, they want us to directly pay the officers, which means now we have to pay benefits, so it is gonna cost us more.
Oh,
So
if I,
basically, they're not gonna support us anymore.
not without us supplying a car, equipment and everything,
Yes.
right?
Uniform.
Okay.
Uniform, we would have to provide them a shirt.
So we could go hire anybody we wanted to do that job. It doesn't have to be them.
I have talked to Chief Linkenfelder. They are 100% still supporting us at the Monticello Police Department. He's actively working on trying to find some people that would like to be SROs if we no longer want to affiliate with the Sheriff's Department.
I think it's sad that the same money that, well, of course, granted, the sheriff's department gets county, money from the whole county, but we get money as well, and it's, never mind.
I did contact John Mays on the issue, and he has drafted a letter that could go to, depending on our decision on Tuesday, to the Sheriff's Department, just indicating that we no longer would need the services of the deputies. I don't like that. I mean, I feel for the officers we have, and I feel bad because that is something
They
that,
had built up a rapport.
yes, and in my opinion, I don't see how we can continue to provide them with shirts and firearms in a car, and I wish we had a working relationship that we didn't have to do this, but
Can we still hire them and like provide them mileage reimbursement and
They can't
expense
use anything from
reimbursement?
the county.
John May said the liability of just hiring them and trying to, they would have to have a firearm, insurance on the car. I will say, when I was at Delphi, they had their own, police department. So, but the one person, but everything ran through them, a car,
So this
firearm.
basically makes them not available for service.
Yes.
Correct.
Thank you.
It's 2 officers
Two
currently.
officers.
And we have how many SROs?
4.
So half of our staff.
Correct. We are the only White County school that has White County Sheriff's Department deputies for SROs.
Okay. So be it.
What do the other schools have for SROs?
North White they have officers, yeah. And I'm not sure who Frontier, I don't know who they use. But no one uses we were the only school that had.
Then we'll be fine.
All right, so be it.
And it's going to be difficult for the city police because they're down an officer right now. They've lost, and they're trying, so it's going to be tight, but I think it'll work
Hey,
out.
just one more challenge.
Yeah, another brick in a wall.
Jason's got our back. I know he does.
That's all that's on the agenda. Is there anything else for discussion?
I have a couple of notes. Good news, I have 2 good news, I believe, still. Up till today, we have an entire janitorial staff,
Yes.
which
Good job, Denny.
I
I don't know if that's ever happened.
I don't think we've ever started school with a full crew. But
I
as
don't
of
think
right
so.
now, we have a full crew.
Wow, great.
And also, we got the foundation, the grant to replace or repair the foundation
Yes.
at the brick building,
The
historical
school,
grant?
old school.
Did we get that grant? Good.
We got, yeah,
That's the one I
So
told
it
him
was
about.
26,000, it's a matching grant. It is a very tight timeline.
yes.
June 1st, 2020, which is come and gone, to June 1st, 2021. So the outside is going to be
Yeah.
tricky with that.
We need to get them in here quick to do the outside work. The inside work can be done in the wintertime.
Yeah.
Right.
Front door, the eaves, the
Yeah.
basement.
Yeah. But we
So-
did get the grant of 26,000, and it's a matching grant on our part. so-
Right.
But it's,
And we've known
I
for
was
about 3 weeks
reported that
that
that was
we
that
could only
great.
release it for some reason this week, so we did get that.
that's only 2 things I have.
I did want to point out Neola policies, because I know that's kind of something that, that we tried to work on and update. I've already met with Bernie Grazier. I got almost all of them ready. You're gonna have a lot of first reads, because they're old ones that needed to be done that haven't been done. Some of them are new, so it would just be a read. One thing I'm sorry, I should have put this on this discussion list. A lot of school corporations only have 2 reads. It's really uncommon and a lot to have 3 reads. That's a lot of reads to go through. I
Are you
think-
suggesting we cut back our reads?
Yes, to 2.
Oh,
We're supportive of that.
very
I just don't think it moves
I don't know,
fast.
this is my favorite part of the job, so I think I'd like 3.
The first read,
Milligan,
my goal is
Put
to
me in a
get them
milligan.
to you, so you have plenty of time, because I know
You
you
can't see
sit
me
and
smiling.
read them.
I can see it in your eyes.
And then the first read, if you have any questions, I would go back, correct those. Second read, if you're fine with them, then we move on and approve those, and adopt them. Administrative guidelines, I've been racking my brain because that crew out there's busy enough. So what I have proposed, and I haven't even told you guys this, but I don't want to just send those to you and say, please comment. What I would like to do is go through them, mark them, so they match up with our policies, and then say, what do you think? And get them off our plates and get some policies, administrative guidelines out there, because we need them, and I'd rather do that legwork than you have to do it. So I can do that, and I think that is probably the best solution. Instead of running them off and making you guys go through all of them, I'll do it. You guys just read through them and agree or not agree to them. So I wanted to give you that update. I called the trainer today, and it was a 2-hour-long Neola session. I have more Neola, I don't know. I think I could be a trainer now, but maybe not that far. But I am actively making sure that we get caught up on those. So that's one thing I wanted, because it seems like that's always been brought up.
I think that's one thing Lori kept pushing.
I have brought it up, but at this time, I mean, we've got so much on your plate.
Right.
When do you sleep? I mean, really, I think
2 to 6. That's all you need.
it's important to have some for these administrators and for yourself and for us, just as protection. But as far as going through all of them, it's up to you.
I'd say if nothing else, and no, just our assistants to maybe help.
Yeah.
So
It really isn't something that I can't tackle.
That's what she uses to go to sleep.
we went through those before, though. Scott and I went through some of them.
Those
I
are
don't know how many you got
policies,
through,
though,
but I
weren't
think
they?
we went through them. Did we not finish that task?
That was
We
policies,
kicked
wasn't
that back to them. I thought that we were,
For the policies?
for the policies.
Oh, they're new all the time.
Yeah.
So
Oh, you mean
So they
the,
keep, just the new
April,
ones.
May.
the new ones that
Yes.
came out?
So you're
Okay.
just talking
Like, it's
about.
like
the-
running
I'm just
around.
talking
Oh,
about the
okay.
new ones.
Okay,
So you've got a new Title IX, that's 20-some pages.
okay.
So you've got some major ones that came and weren't looked at, so I'm
Okay.
trying to catch us
Okay.
up. Yeah.
And the second thing we need to get to Bernie on it, because when there's a set of policies for the teachers and there's another set of policies for the administrators, the way Neola's written, they're virtually the same policies, except one says teachers and one says
Yeah,
administrators.
and you can tell by the numbers, so if that policy would come through, I would just go, the ones that are out now really are just
They're
pretty
unique?
black and white, that it's not a teacher and,
Okay.
student type, it's distinctly different.
Okay, okay.
A lot of the distance learning, a lot of Title IX, a lot of, mask, there's policy for that.
Yeah.
So it's not where we have to go and do 2 policies, or we're missing something. It's not like that at all. So I do have about 20 for your reading pleasure that will come your way shortly.
Oh, yeah.
So be
Flipping
looking for them.
material.
I'll let you know, and what I'll do is just send a link. You just click on it, and it'll be right there, so you don't have to hunt for them. So
Did you say you're gonna go through those two yourself?
I've already done the.
Okay, are you redlining them or something?
Yes.
So when we get the
Yep,
first policy,
everything's
we
done.
get to see what you already.
Yep.
You know, that's such a benefit, because when I, as a non-educator, sit down with a blank policy from Neola, and he's got 3 choices there,
Yes.
I really don't have a lot of basis for making a choice.
What I've done is I've marked them all. If it's something I thought we could take out, I've redlined it. So I will send you directions on exactly what it looks like, and you just follow through those directions
Oh,
in
that's
that policy.
fantastic.
So, you don't have to try to figure out what all the markings are. So
Okay.
those are, if they're all marked up, you just have to read them.
Okay, and then the
Jeff
guidelines,
Milligan.
the guidelines, just
You can count on that. Did I tell you I changed my email?
to reiterate, the
Don't tell her until after she sends it.
to restate, the guidelines, we've not been through those before. And those are something that I think it's really critical, and I know I don't want to put anything else on you guys, and maybe now's not the time, but when that does happen, that, I really think, needs to be a flow up the chain rather than a flow down the chain.
There aren't too many, with Neola's, there aren't too many this choice or this choice for administrative guidelines. And we already have you know, you want to make sure you match up with your policies.
Exactly.
So, it's literally just looking to see what matches up to the policy, so.
Okay.
And I don't think the board has to approve the guidelines.
No.
We
Okay.
don't, but I'm wondering
They
about
do.
CTO too. At one time,
They're administrative guidelines.
okay, so they don't, but the policies, they need to look at, right? Well, they didn't want, I don't know.
TLCTO, I think, I was told you were given the policies at one point for review, and I thought you declined.
I heard that too.
Say that again.
Do you want to look at the policies?
The policies that we're putting those online with Neola.
Right.
And those policies that were drafted and vetted out by the superintendent and a couple people on the board and so forth, we were told that you were given a set of those and that the review of them, that the LCTO declined.
And when did this
That
happen?
was my understanding anyway. I might have been wrong.
That was my understanding
When
too.
did that happen?
We don't know, we're just asking.
Not during the time we've been
Okay, cool.
here.
So we need to run those through there as well, I would think.
It just
Yeah,
needs to be a
I think-
timeline though, I think.
No?
Yeah, it needs to be something that works itself through.
Did it happen when Nikki was
No,
president?
no, I think we're just asking if you want to be involved in the policy process.
It will be deadline, but I mean, you know, so
It's
I don't
like-
know how your timeline is.
It's
but-
like a stack. I mean, a stack.
It's a big deal.
Can be.
It's kind of like a Yoda thing, do or do not, there is no try.
You need an answer to right now?
No, no, absolutely not. But I think it's important that you get back to Ms. Metzger and let her know. And you might even ask her to see them before you want to vote.
Okay, who would I ask that? Again?
Yeah.
I thought they were already posted on that. Are they not on the website already?
They are on the website, but the draft I can't see, only people with users, so they wouldn't have a username and password.
No, but you mean for the new ones?
Correct.
But the old ones that are posted?
Oh, yeah, they're on
There's no
the,
problem with making those available, though, if they want to be involved in the process, right?
no.
Okay,
I would have to print them off because we only have so many logins, but
they can use my login.
you heard it.
That grant for the COVID, let's see, did that get, there was a deadline that we talked about.
CARES Act money,
Yeah, did that get all taken care of, was that in the process, or?
that is in the, well, we haven't turned anything in because we're waiting on FEMA money to see what's been covered. So we don't want to really pay any of that up front because we did get an IU,
IU
health. So they're gonna pay for our thermometer, some things that we thought we were gonna have to take out of FEMA, they are gonna actually, pay, and we should be hearing from them. Their board meeting was August 5th. So we should be hearing how much we're gonna get because, they were gonna vote on it. So we'll see how much we get from them. We will turn things in. Everything we kept track of will go to FEMA. We have to wait and see how much we get and what's approved, and then we'll use CARES Act money.
Okay.
So it's kind of a two-step
Yeah.
process.
And if we go to virtual, have you guys thought about just being able to maintain money for the variety of different certified and uncertified staff? Have you guys thought about that, or how that's going to look if we go virtual?
When you say virtual, you mean e-learning?
E-learning.
Yes.
It's gonna probably be the same as last year.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're going to maintain the same as last year, keep the status quo? Okay.
We don't know.
Yeah.
And that would be where I would chime in on this. Anybody that's speculating about the future
Right.
more than a day in
Right,
advance
right.
is wasting their time.
Yeah. We don't know.
It is a waste of time.
Right.
We
The
did
what
it-
ifs.
We did it for about 2 weeks in the beginning because we are essential business, and we stopped because it's a waste of time.
Right,
And all it does is get you all wound up in angst,
yeah,
worry about tomorrow.
yeah.
You're worried about 9 o'clock.
I don't really care when we finish, but,
No, I'm saying, that's what you're looking for. 1 hour ahead of.
yeah,
so-
I mean, you can't,
No.
you just can't get that far ahead of yourself, or you're just wasting your time. It'll change.
That's why I said Monday, we come in, Tuesday, we'll see what, Monday brings, and we'll look at Tuesday. So, yeah, if we think too far ahead, it doesn't do us any good. We spin our wheels and we worry. So, day by day. But I'm looking forward to Monday, that's for sure.
We're gonna do the best we can.
Yep,
We are.
absolutely.
We are. Anything else? Anything else for anyone out in the, back 40? Anyone?
Hey, Deb, did you let them know what happened in Woodlawn today? Got a fire over there? Freezer caught fire.
You got a fire?
Freezer caught fire over there
Freezer
today,
Freezer.
so. So it's total loss. We gotta get a whole insurance on, so.
Another routine emergency.
There's a fire alarm.
And that's how, yeah, I was in my office about 10 after 6 this morning when it went off, so.
Okay.
And the kitchen was all smoked up, but didn't affect any part of the other school. We got fans in there, got smoke out, so.
Sometimes they shorted out because of water, but there wasn't any rain.
The fan for the evaporator shorted or something, froze. I mean, it was smoking hot. So it was-
Is that original? I mean,
no, we got money back when the economy went down.
Okay,
That school got
I
money.
didn't
because
realize,
they
I
took
didn't
a-
know how old that was.
Yeah, free and reduced lunches or something in there. I remember getting new equipment back then.
Okay.
So it's probably been 10 years.
I don't know if we have to vote on this, but is there a motion to adjourn?
You vote if you want.
Do I have a second?
Yes.
I don't think we get a vote tonight.
I don't think so either, so we get to go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Are we off? Are we off the air?